Hey guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. I'm Steve, and this is going to be a video response to Adam over at Arkansas Preparedness Network. Last week, or this week, it's the end of the week, Adam posted a video in which he gave a scenario, and we're going to delve into it and try to answer his question as best we can. Okay, so Adam gave a scenario where it is about 2 years after an event. Economic system has crashed, and a barter system has arisen. You and your neighbors have been dealing with people coming who needed to move on, and you've moved them on in one way or another. However, a group that you politely moved on has met up with more people who are like-minded as themselves. I believe he even put some of the militia types in that group with, training. And they have been making their way back toward your little community. You're not really organized in any way, shape, or form, scattered farms and homesteads, and you work together, trade together, but that's about it. Your position has become untenable, and you and yours know of a place where you can go. It is 100 miles away. You are factoring in a 10-mile-a-day trip and your party. You have a couple in their 50s and 60s, a young couple in their 30s with a teenage son and a 10-year-old child, and yourself. Now we've got 2 children in their teens, Kim and myself. He wanted to know what you plan to take, how you plan on doing it, how you plan on working security, how you plan on traveling, and how you plan on making your 100-mile journey. The question arose due to a new member of the group bringing up the head to the hills, go out in the woods scenario if things went bad. So we're going to play devil's advocate and try to figure out how we're going to do just that for 100 miles. Well, Adam, to me, we have half a day. You said to pack and load and figure out how we're going to go. We have no caches. Well, we've got 2 options. We're moving through a hostile environment. So the question becomes, 1, do we have night vision? I'm going to even make it harder and say we don't, because I would prefer to move at night. We have 3 dogs, one of whom I don't think would make it. With the other 2, the younger 2, I think could either be hooked to a small cart, or I do have doggy backpacks for them, so they would help carry their own food. We do have water purification tablets for ourselves and other means of purifying water. So that's maybe not completely taken care of, but it's a lesser worry. We're going to strip down MREs and food sources, beans and whatnot, into manageable stores. Go with a lot of dehydrated and dried foods. How are we going to deal with grumpy children? The beatings will continue until morale improves. That's how we deal with grumpy children. My daughter just winked at me and gave me a thumbs up. She's on board with this. And then she just whispered, her brother's going first. Okay, so the two major concerns that I see, a 10-year-old, he may have some trouble with 10 miles a day, but it's really not. 10 miles is really not unattainable. The 50 and 60-year-old couple, they're going to have to stop for breaks periodically. They're going to have to keep moving as best they can. No one gets left behind. So on the actual traveling part, the weakest members are going to be in front leading, so they don't get, lost or outrun. For them, we would have to utilize trails and roads as best as possible. Camping at night would probably be a good thing, due to, if you're using a light source to see your way, that can be a beacon, one, for anyone with night vision, two, just in the dark, especially in this kind of a grid down scenario. A light is like a lighthouse. Everyone's gonna, from miles around, is gonna come see what's moving. The other thing is, you don't want to be blundering around in the dark when someone is being quiet and listening. So there's that. We're going to move during the daytime. Leadership. We all want to say we're going to be in charge. We all want to say we're it. And I think the most fit will probably rise to the top. However, whoever that person may be must always remember to listen to wisdom. The elders have been around a lot longer, and old age and treachery will get you a lot further than youth and strength, brute strength. Pulling security, you're probably going to have to do 3 to 4 hour watches. I would have to include my 16-year-old son in that, partially to take some of the strain off of everyone, partially because he's getting to that point. Now, when it comes to the older gentleman and the older lady pulling their watch, I would probably have someone sleeping nearby where they could shake them and say, "Hey, did you hear that?" And someone to back them up. That would be my choice. Hooking the dogs to some form of cart would help take the load off of the individual members. I don't expect a 10-year-old boy to carry 10 days worth of food. Those of us who are stronger, who are fitter, will have to pick up the slack. If you die first, we're splitting your gear. I mean, that's a rule. Food, water, shelter. Those are the three main things that you have to think about. Good shoes. Hopefully we've managed to maintain our shoes throughout the 2 years up until this point, because we're going to be moving. And as I said, 10 hours or a day, it's not, and 10 miles a day, it's not that hard. It is 5:15, and I've walked 3 miles just walking around the house, walking around the campsite, not really trying. If I were to push it and go for it, 10 miles is not unconceivable. What else? Leadership, pulling security at night. I would prefer to adopt an early to bed, early to rise schedule where we get up early, we hit the road, and get our miles in early. Starting at 7, 10 hours a day, that's 5 o'clock. That's 1,700 hours. It is early summer, late spring right now, so you've got daylight till 8 o'clock. That gives us enough time to bed down, pick our spot, not just be having to take whatever spot that we have to find, that we come across, and set up for the night. So let's see. I think we've covered just about everything that I could think of. For keeping children quiet, as a medic, I recommend chloroform. My daughter's looking at me and shaking her head. Chloroform. Part of the situation? Yes, you can come with us on this trip. You get chloroform too.
What if I chloroform you first?
Well, then you better stay quiet throughout the night if bad guys are out there.
Alright, fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. Alright, see? Kids are cool. So we've handled pretty much most of the discussion. The one thing I would throw out is faith. If you're going to face adversity and tough things, you've got to have faith that you're going to come through. I don't care if you have faith in yourself. I don't care if you have faith in God. That's between you and your maker, you and your deity, your flying spaghetti monster, if that's what you want. But you've got to have faith in order to face tough times. So, that's the big one for me. Thanks for watching, and those are my thoughts.